You're watching Make a Path Presents. My name is Ronnie Hayes. Today, let's talk The Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 8, Predictions. Alright, first off, for those of you who are new, I know The Walking Dead gets new viewers every year. Episode 8 is considered a mid-season finale, and they're going to take a break from Episode 8. After that airs, they're going to take a break until February 14th, I believe. It comes back on Valentine's Day. So, just putting it out there because I know I get a couple questions with the newer fans of the series. So, there will be a break, and I'm going to split this prediction video in half. I'm going to talk about predictions for the show, only briefly, and then go into comic book spoilers. There's no way to do it justice. There's no way to do the No Way Out predictions justice without getting into spoilers. So, if you don't like those, you can leave after the predictions. I'll let you know. Jumping right into this, it looks like in the trailer, the promo, it looks like Tara and Rosita helped Tobin get up. He looked injured. Maybe it was his side. I don't know. Something could have hit him, or maybe he just fell down. I don't know. But it did look like he was holding his side, and it looked like Eugene, Rosita, and Tara made it to the garage. Tobin could have gotten eaten getting there, or he could be on the floor catching his breath and he's just not in the shot. That's absolutely possible. We see Maggie on her back. She looks like she's firing the assault rifle at some walkers, and then she slings it over her shoulder, gets on her feet, and crawls up that little ladder frantically because the walkers are on her ass. When she gets up there, though, it looks very tense because it doesn't look like she has much room, or it looks like something broke off, and it's just a split second. I couldn't even get a screen grab. It was that fast of Maggie holding on with tons of walkers under there. It's a roller coaster with those two, Maggie and Glenn. They just pulled Glenn out of the fire and now they're throwing Maggie in it. That's crazy. We do see Rick with an axe, which I thought was a nice homage, but part of me, for those in the comic book who know what's coming up, part of me still feels like that might not come up, but there is hope, and it looks like they're starting to set that up. I'll explain why later on in the video. Rick and Michonne are together, it appears, in the house. So as they separate, it's looking like Morgan was outside too in the trailer, but he might just go outside briefly and come back in. But then again, would he leave the wolf alone with Carol? And there was also a picture with Carol covered in blood in that white shirt floating around social media. She did like a funny pic eating in the kitchen, I guess, covered in blood. Now, does she stab the wolf to death once shit pops off? Like I said, I think that's an interesting dynamic, having Carol there, Morgan there, and Denise there, because the doctor's going to want to heal. I don't know how she's going to feel being that it's a wolf. But you have that dynamic with the characters. I talked about that before. So they're in a house together. It looks like Rick and Michonne are in a house together. Eugene, Tara, Rosita, and possibly Tobin are in a house together. We don't know what's going on with Father Gabriel. It looks like that some of that story's not going to tie in the same. Let's jump right into some comic book shit. You know what? Before we get into the comic book shit, let me make this very clear for the TV-only fans. Mini spoilers here. First off, No Way Out. We have to understand what this is. In the comic book, it's called the No Way Out story arc. And what it is a herd getting through a breach in the walls. Once they get in there, our survivors have to make a plan to escape with their lives or fight for their lives. And that's basically it. That is the No Way Out story arc. It's a fight for survival. And in the comic, it turns into a battle, just like gladiators in the arena filled with walkers. It's intense. It's one of the best story arcs in the comic. And it's in a show, it's not shaping up to be as battle royale as the comic book, which is very disappointing. But that's basically the idea of what's going to happen in the mid-season finale, and interestingly enough, the mid-season premiere. When we come back from the break in episode 9, we're going to be dealing with maybe even the story gets cut in half between 8 and 9, which is very interesting because we have Ron, who seemed like he was determined to kill Carl. So what's going to go on with that? And I want to talk about that, so let's get right into the predictions with comic book spoilers. If you don't want to know, I'm sorry. Jump ship now. Hit that like button on your way out, but let's get right into this. First thing first, I feel like there is possible setup. Episode 7 did set up the Morgan, Carol, Denise, and the Wolf in a house together. What does that mean, though, as far as dealing with an interesting dynamic between the character who wants to kill, the character who believes in life, and then the wolf stuck in the middle? Carol gave Judith to Jesse before she went seeing what Morgan is doing. Now that means we have Jesse, Sam, and Judith in the house together. And a lot of us comic book fans were talking about how Carl is too old and he is too confident, compared to the comic book counterpart. The comic book, he was only 10 years old still. So when they were leaving out the house and there was walkers everywhere and they're covered in guts, Jesse's holding his hand in the comic and he gets scared because Jesse won't let go of his hand. But if they replace Jesse with baby Judith, we now get an amazing, I think even a more impactful scene brought from the comic to the show, and that's where Jesse is carrying Judith, holding Sam's hand, and Sam gets attacked by walkers. I think that would be just heartbreaking, and I'm hoping they do this because it's one of those scenes where it's like, well, why are you hoping that, it's heartbreaking. I love when they do that in entertainment, where they show heartbreaking scenes where it really highlights the reality of the world they're living. This isn't just gore for fun. This would truly, truly highlight the horrors of the world they're living in. That's one of the main reasons why I feel this scene is so damn important. And then, so Sammy starts getting gobbled up, and Jesse's next. She's still holding on to Judith. Rick would have to cut Judith free, or even just pull her free. They show him with an axe. It doesn't look like the hatchet in the comic because the comic was easier. It was just a hatchet. But they could do it in some way where Rick would just have to pry the baby out of her arms as she's being devoured by walkers. However they play it out on the screen, I think that would be pretty damn epic. Now, just if I can go over 2 or 3 worries I have. If you want to watch my No Way Out explain video for the comic, I'm going to leave that in the eye up here, and I'm going to leave that in the descriptions. Go and watch that video, especially when they're walking out and Jesse and Sammy Ron in the comic get attacked by walkers. Carl gets injured. They take him into the house. I'm assuming Carl most likely will get injured. I don't know if it'll be his eye. Maybe he'll get disfigured in the face. That probably would be easier to film. A lot of acting is in the eyes, and that's one thing I didn't mention before. I don't know if the actor would be able to pull it off yet. I don't know if he has enough experience. A lot of acting is in the eyes, and you take away one eye, it means a big difference. If you watch the No Way Out, like I was saying, the explained, you'll see that when they get Carl on the surgery table, which is going to be harder to do now if it's that bad of a wound, because Denise is not prepared for that. She's not trained for that, qualified for that. But that ramps up the tension. Knowing she failed on Holly, I think that ramps up the tension. But then seeing her succeed with Scott, that ramps up the tension where we're now 50-50. We see her fail, we see her succeed. Where will Carl lie? Will she fail? Will she succeed? I think that's set up perfect. So I think that plus the run, they're setting him up to hurt Carl for so long. I don't see them just bouncing and jumping ship on that. So I do think Deanna will be gobbled up, same way in the comic, not as cowardly as what's his name, Douglas. I think instead of him coming out like a coward and just starting to shoot, I believe Deanna will come out like a soldier and die, in battle, and just get devoured viciously, but like a soldier, you know what I mean? But my point is, I'm beating around the bush here, because here's the thing. Let me be honest with you. My point is, I'm disappointed because it feels like there's not characters here that I want to be here to take place in the battle. And part of me feels like it's a budget reason. There's a huge part of me that feels like Scott Gimple deserves more credit than we give him because AMC doesn't give the proper budget. AMC does good. I'm not going to say AMC is shit like a lot of fans say out there. There's totally dog AMC, but I'm saying I think it is possible that there's times in a story when you have a show where you should throw extra money at it, and I think No Way Out would have been one of those times. I believe that's why we get bottle episodes. I believe that's why we don't get some of the bigger scenes, and I think it's because of the budget. And I'm afraid that we're not going to get the Battle Royale scene where we have Abraham storming out of a house. Rick and Michonne are about to die. They're surrounded with walkers. There's no way out for them. They either get help or die right now. And Abraham comes out of a house with Rosita at his side. They charge in, battling. Holly jumps off a roof, which would be Francine. And Aaron and Eric come out and fight. Next thing you know, you have all the survivors in Alexandria, not just our old survivors, but people from Alexandria. They see these warriors fighting, and they come to their aid. Not a lot of them, but a few. Aaron and Eric and Holly and shit like that. But that's the scene that, one of the scenes I think we should absolutely get in the Walking Dead TV show. And there's a part of me that feels like they angled to, skip that scene, but give us some other good shit. So yeah, I am worried about the No Way Out story arc playing out. I don't need it to play out just like the comic, but there's some scenes in the comic, I'm telling you what, guys, it would just do a disservice to The Walking Dead to skip over it, and that's what I'm saying. I'm a little worried they're going to skip over that. Anyway, I'll just shut up now. And let me just be clear, too. Like I said, I do not think AMC is out to sabotage this, and they're just greedy bastards, Logic shows if you make something good, you're going to make more money off it than if you just do something. I know a lot of fans say, oh, they throw crap on the screen and just feed it to us because we'll eat it because we're fans. That is just not true. They might do budget cuts. I'll tell you right now, they definitely do some budget cuts that negatively affects what they could have done if they threw a little more money at it. However, if they just said, screw it, throw crap on the screen, cut their budget, give them $1,000 a freaking episode, give them next to nothing, fire some actors, the show would fail. As big as the show is, it would absolutely fail. So I do not believe they just throw crap on the screen. A lot of these people work really hard at this, and it is a business at the end of the day. And we don't know, we're not professionals in running the business, so I could be totally out of my element and saying something that is not the case. But it is what I'm afraid of as a fan. Let me just put it that way. So, alright, Deadheads, again, rambled way too much. Leave your thoughts and opinions and predictions for this episode down in that comment box. Now, today I was only able to upload this one video, so that's why I wanted to give you a little bit of an extra longer vid. During Thanksgiving, it's probably going to slow down with the videos, and then I'm going to come back hard after that. And I got a lot of videos planned for the break. And you might think, hey, what kind of material can you do for the break? Trust me, I got some shit lined up. But thoughts and opinions in the comment box. I'm done talking. It's your turn. Add predictions too, because this is a prediction video. No spoilers. Peace. Subscribe, man.